One thing I enjoy about the end of the year is that you get to look back and think about the pop culture stories that have really had an impact on the stories that basically left no impression. Today, the group chat's here. They are ready to go. We're looking back on the winners and losers of 2024. Let's go. I'm Elamin Abdelmahmoud, and this is Commotion. Listen, this show is only in its second year of existence, but that makes us, I think, old enough to have traditions. We are continuing our year-end tradition from last year on this podcast. We are going to look back at the year in pop culture, and we're going to decide who are the year's winners and losers. Kathleen Newman-Bremang is here. Niko Stratis is here. Rad Simonpillai is here. Kathleen, Rad, Niko, welcome to the show, friends. How's it going?
Thanks for having me.
Hello.
Hey.
First of all,
great.
let me just start by saying you're all winners to me. Before we even start the show, you're all winners to me. I know, right? I agree with you. Okay, let us start things off right here. The one and only. That is Celine Dion singing at this year's opening ceremonies at the Summer Olympics in Paris. She's had the Olympics. She's had the documentary, I Am Celine Dion on Amazon Prime. Kathleen, first word to you on this. Talk to me about the year that Celine Dion has had.
Cool. Queen Celine.
I know.
As a Jamaican Canadian, I don't know if you guys know this, but we have claimed Celine Dion. She is Jamaican in spirit.
Go in. Let's go.
This means a lot to me. Okay, so the year started with the announcement of this documentary in January. We knew that she was going to be revealing more about her condition, stiff person syndrome. And until that point, you know, we didn't know if she would ever be able to perform again. We didn't even know if she could walk. And so I think the winning started in February when she walked out at the Grammys, styled by La Roche, looking incredible. And it was such an emotional moment because it was beautiful to see a room full of like the best and brightest in music bow down and pay their respects to Celine, one of the greatest voices to have ever lived. And I think that sentiment continued throughout the year. You know, watching the documentary, I cried the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously,
wept during that documentary.
Of course,
yes.
Wept. But mostly I was struck by how Celine has given so much to her career and how she was really wrestling with, who am I? Am I still Celine Dion without this voice? Who is Celine, the person, not the artist? And the documentary asks those big questions and doesn't really give us a definitive answer, but it did provide this like heartbreaking insight into an icon and gave this, you know, harrowing backstory to that Olympics performance, which made it all the more epic.
Yeah, I gotta say, Rad, like watching that documentary, you know, I'm used to music documentaries ending in a hopeful note, in like a place of like, this is where the artist goes to next. This documentary does not do that. Like the last shot you see in this documentary is like, we don't know if she's gonna make it past this thing, let alone be able to walk, let alone be able to perform in the same way again. And so to see her sort of make the jump from like that really big open question at the end of that documentary to the Olympics, what do you make of that arc?
I mean, that itself was huge. But frankly, at this point now, I feel like Celine really won the year when Kathleen said on national public radio that she is a Jamaican Canadian. Like, that's like, it doesn't get any better than that. But like, and look, like, I mean, of course, the Olympics moment was triumphant. And I'm with Kathleen, where it's like, for me, she kind of won the year even with that documentary, and mainly not just because of the struggle and how she kind of like fought it and stuff, but also because she's so funny. Like, you know, listen, I'm not someone who's really kind of grown with Celine or anything. Like, I'm not singing Power of Love in my shower or nothing like that. So she's always been at a distance from
Live
me,
a little,
you know?
Rad.
You know, I might consider it now, but like, but you know, she's always been this kind of towering figure that I've kind of noticed from a distance. But you know, it's not. But then this documentary, it bringing us into her life, the kind of vulnerability you see here, bringing us into the obscene wealth and how much she's loving her obscene wealth. Like, I love how much she loves it. Like, and I love that she still has that working class mentality in that she's a hoarder. She's like, she will struggle to fit herself into a shoe that doesn't fit.
Yes,
She's
exactly
like,
right.
I mean, she's still like that down to earth homegirl who's so funny, who loves to poke fun at herself, makes it okay for us to kind of have fun with her as well. So like that personality coming through, she won me over with that. And then, like there's a pettiness to her that I love. And we saw that in the tweet. If you know the tweet I'm talking about is when
I do know the tweet.
You know the tweet. When Donald Trump and J.D. Vance came out to My Heart Will Go On at a rally, and Celine tweets out a statement, like a very familiar statement, like, we did not authorize this use, we don't co-sign this, and also that song, like the pettiness at the end of that tweet. I was like, you are a queen.
I just want to clarify, when Rad says she's a down home girl, no, she isn't, in the sense that very few of someone who can claim that title also has a warehouse of all the things they've kept throughout their career, which is the thing you see in the documentaries. Like, she drives up to a gigantic warehouse that looks like about the size of an airplane hangar, and then that's where she's like, I wore this in 1993 and I wore this in 1996, and most of us don't have that in our arsenal. Niko,
well, what if we could?
Well, listen, I would. I don't have that. Niko, real quick, I know you did not watch the documentary, but can I just say, when I was watching the Olympics performance, I was like standing next to my wife, and I was crying, and Emily was crying, and then my kid was just sitting on the couch looking at us being like, why are you people crying? There's something about the redemption and the return of Celine Dion, because I think, we went through quite a bit of time where she was a punchline. That is no longer the case. What do you make of that journey?
I mean, yeah, like I'm of a certain age where I remember as a teenager and, as a young adult, even that Celine Dion, like you said, was a bit of a punchline, right? Like, she was always this diva. She always had this powerful voice, but for a long time, she was sort of made fun of. And a thing I always think about with Celine Dion is a story that Elliott Smith told. Look, don't invite a 40-year-old sad white woman to your holiday party if you don't want to talk about Elliott Smith. But like, when he was at the Oscars to perform Miss Misery from Good Will Hunting, Celine was there with My Heart Will Go On.
Yeah.
And everybody, like, he didn't win. If you see the performance, Elliott Smith is out there alone in a white suit playing a guitar, and she's there to do My Heart Will Go On. Two, like, diametrically opposed people. Yeah. And people sort of wanted to tear her down to him. And he was the first person to defend her and say, she came over to me backstage and was really sweet and kind and nice to me. Mm-hmm. And no one else there did that, and she did not have to do that. And I think it speaks a lot to who she is, right? And I think she's always been self-aware, and I think only now in this era are we able to sort of accept this sort of, we talk a lot about the currency of sincerity, and I think it's taken a long time for her chips to cash in, and she's in this era right now, which makes it all the more sadder that at the peak of her belovedness is when she is losing these parts of herself that have always made her who she is. And that is a real crying shame.
I'm going to sit with that. I'm going to sit with that, even though we get to sort of declare that Celine Dion is one of our winners of 2024. But also, there is something lost there, and I think that's a thing to reflect on. Okay, so we're going to move on because we're going to play a game here, and this is a bit challenging because we've never done this before. I have a hat with a bunch of different names and things from the past year. Commotion producers have compiled these just from like different events and things that have come out, but none of us, none of the four of us, including me, have any idea what's in here. So it's going to get random, and the idea is to get through these as quickly as I can, and I'm told there's going to be some kind of bell that'll keep us moving, which I'm worried about that too. So I'm going to reach into my festive bag.
This is so scary.
I'm reaching into it's great. This is great. I'm going to reach into my festive bag and grab our first topic, which is, I genuinely have no idea what it is. Oh, it's Marvel. Okay, Marvel winners and losers of 2024. The first one, I agree with you. Marvel is the first one. Rad, is Marvel a winner or a loser of 2024?
They will always be losers in my mind.
Okay, first of all, wow. Okay.
Wow. Okay. Listen.
Yeah, we talk about the idea of like Marvel maybe losing some of its grip on the box office. Like, that's been some of the stuff that we've been talking about.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, it's like, of course, you might say that they're a winner this year because they came out with Deadpool and Wolverine, which conquered the box office and gave them the room to poke fun at themselves and poke fun at this rough period that they're having where their movies are not landing and the MCU's in shambles. But then here comes Deadpool and Wolverine making fun of all that, making light of all that, winning the fans over, and reinforcing the strength of the Marvel brand, which in my mind is still losing. We lose. We're the losers in this relationship that they're still like coming out on top.
I'll say Deadpool and Wolverine. Go ahead, Kathleen.
Well, I was just going to say, it's so interesting because when you said Marvel, I was like, what Marvel thing came out this year? And
I had the same thought.
Right? And Deadpool and Wolverine didn't even connect to me because Wolverine, there was this whole like X-Men wasn't a part of Marvel for a really long time. Like always canonically a part of Marvel, but not a part in the
of
cinematic
this universe,
right? And so I didn't even put that together. So yes, Deadpool and Wolverine was a win for this year, I guess.
We just heard the bell, so we got to move on. Okay. I was like, that's enough Marvel talk for that. Listen, the bell is ruthless. That's.
I think Marvel's a loser. I will agree with that.
Thank you. Oh my God, I didn't see that coming.
I'm going to say Marvel is a winner because they went out and got Robert Downey Jr. back into the universe, and like while it's loser behavior to go back to the thing that catapulted you to that. Okay, wow, the bell is going again. They're like, enough Marvel, keep going. Oh wow. Okay, next topic is Shogun. Kathleen, do you want to talk about Shogun because it has it cleaned up awards. It has kind of dominated the conversation in terms of being the best show of the past couple of years.
Yes.
Go in.
Oh, Shogun was my favorite viewing experience of the entire year.
Oh, wow.
I was just like locked in on my couch with my husband, just deep into the world of Shogun. And I think that not since Game of Thrones have we maybe been put into a world that just completely transports you like this. And the storytelling was so incredible. The acting was amazing. The twist, I'm not going to say what that twist was, but that twist broke me in half. And I think I texted you, Elamin, and I was like, why did no one warn me? Why did no one tell me that Shogun was going to ruin my life? Like in the best possible way. But I've loved seeing it get all the award love. I've loved seeing people really attached to this risk because I think that it definitely was a risk because it's like not IP that you would think would be this popular.
Not at all. Like this is a show set in 17th century Japan. It is based on a 1975 novel. And then it goes on to win 18 Emmys, including Best Drama, the most ever for a single season of a television show. That's pretty extraordinary. And I think it teaches us something about like where risk should be allocated in the industry. What does that tell you, do you think?
I mean, like, speaking of risks in terms of like even storytelling television, I mean, I think it's amazing that so many people responded to this, especially when like I feel like the ending of Shogun is actually fairly challenging. Like it's not giving audiences what they expect. So for it to like endear audiences, for us to all be thrilled, for us to be excited for season 2 is absolutely a win. And of course, Conquered, the way it was received and Conquered is amazing, especially because a lot of people already know this story. But so they clearly did something amazing by retelling it in such a majestic way and such a thoughtful way and rejigging it so that we're getting the right perspectives. And I'm going to expand out this
Bell
win.
Again. Okay. No, you don't have time.
Bell.
You don't have time.
Fine.
Sorry. Listen, again, Gene
Who's
Kim.
holding that bell?
Gene Kim is ruthless with that bell up in the control room.
The bell does not like me personally.
Well, actually, the next topic is going to be to you because I pulled out of the festive bag Chappell Roan. Niko, is she a winner or a loser of 2024?
I mean, I'm declaring winner just because she had such a monumental year, even though a lot of people really sort of tried to comfort her and tear her down over very reasonable things that she said and did. I think this has been a year where we have sort of looked at the infrastructure and economy of being a pop star and what that means and what is expected of people. And she sort of tried to defy all those things and still be popular and still be in the mainstream and still be in the spotlight. And that is a really challenging ordeal in contrast to all the sort of bigger stars that we see. I'm giving you such an open door to Taylor Swift here. And I'm going to try to talk so much
I'm not taking it.
Like, I think she had a really big year, and I think she got sort of torn apart for things that are completely unfair. And I hope we continue to see more of the things that I think made her a really interesting pop star in 2025, which is to embrace queerness at a time where being queer in the public eye is being torn down more than ever before.
Yes.
She celebrated it in ways that a lot of other people did not. And I think that is a thing we are going to need more of. And also somebody that's willing to be outspoken, that's willing to challenge ideas and is willing to say, not just publicly endorse Kamala Harris, but say, like, we need to have a broader conversation about this. I'm hoping we get more of that in 2025.
I think two things about Chappell Roan that catch my attention. Yes, great Grammy nominations. She's up
also
for Song of the Year and Album of the Year. Absolutely. Every song completely hits. But she's also like, she's drawing attention for the boundaries that she's setting, right? The boundaries in terms of saying, Oh no, not the bell again. Okay, I'm moving on. I'm moving on. But first, I feel crowded.
This is the most chaotic radio show ever.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it because we have a lot of things to talk about. I have pulled out of the festive hat, I regret to inform you, the word Bennifer. Kathleen, winner or loser of 2024?
I think it would be easy to call Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck losers this year because, someone say this breakup was embarrassing for them because of how public the relationship was.
Mm-hmm.
She released a whole documentary about their love story, and this is supposed to be like the second chance happily ever after.
Yeah.
But for everyone who loves celebrity gossip, we won. Jennifer Lopez, we won. She's going to 100% get married again and very publicly. Likely with someone famous, and that's just good for gossip. I admire her delusion. I admire her belief in love. You can never make me hate her. She's our Elizabeth Taylor. Getting married a million times to like a trash man is exactly what celebrities should be doing. So continue to do that, JLo.
She's our Elizabeth Taylor is the greatest thing.
She's our Elizabeth Taylor. That's going to stick with me. The idea that she filed for divorce in August, even though a few months before that she put out a whole movie about how much she was in love with this man. Presumably, while the divorce proceedings were beginning at that point, you're still like, put out this movie because that was a time when I believed in love. Oh, the bell is going again. Okay, next topic out of the festive bag. This bell is not my friend, I'll tell you that.
I can't believe the bell didn't want me to talk about JLo. Oh my God.
I wish I could actually ring the bell on this next topic myself before I even start talking about it, because I'm done talking about Moo Deng. Moo Deng is, of course, the hippo that has captured the attention of the world. She's very cute. I get why her pictures go viral. I think her agent is working a little bit too hard, Rad. I think I'm done with this hippo going viral on my feed all the time. Are you over Moo Deng? Because I think I am. I regret to inform you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's great. Please stay in that world. Please stay in that world. That's a good place to be. Niko, what are your feelings on Moo Deng? Because I know you've seen that hippo on your feed because you don't get off Twitter, and I love that about you.
I love a question as an accusation. That's what the end of the year is all about, is accusing your loved ones of things they know. I mean, I'm also like, I think we all collectively kind of were just like, okay, done with this. Like,
she's cute.
Like, there'll be another cute animal.
Yeah.
Maybe not as cute. I think a cute hippo is so funny because hippos are notoriously like extremely dangerous. So it's like, oh,
but she's a baby, pygmy hippo. Yeah.
We've got an adorable shark with knives in their hand or something like, but it's a baby and it's cute. And then just so like, it was a nice moment. I think we needed Moo Deng it's like she was the hero that we needed,
the bell is gone, and I'm so relieved that it's gone because someone in the studio is like, you know what, enough Moo Deng conversation, and I agree with them.
More Moo Deng.
Okay, no. Next topic up here we have Glicked. Kathleen Newman-Bremang. Do you want to talk about Gladiator and Wicked and the box office battle that never was?
Glicked was never really a thing. Like, who tried to make Glicked happen?
Yeah.
It was like a Wicked box office. It was a Wicked win, and then Gladiator kind of was sort of in the background.
But we wanted a repeat of Barbenheimer. We just never got it.
Of course.
Yeah.
We just never got it.
Yeah.
I really don't have enough time to get into how much I love Wicked. I can't talk about Cynthia Riva's Elphaba and her micro braids without crying. So I'll just say that like Moo Deng, she was the hero we needed. And we got her, and I'm just like, truly, her performance healed something inside of me. Yeah. But overall, Wicked was the musical spectacle of the year. And between, Ariana Grande's Glinda and Jonathan Bailey's Fierro, that I truly, again, can't talk about without saying something not safe for work. This was the movie event of the year. And so it's absolutely a winner for me. And I feel bad for people like Rad, because I know Rad's going to come in here and say some stuff, who just like can't leave that movie experience and feel joy. Like I feel so sorry for you that you were like worried about the lighting.
Yeah, we leave Wicked be like, I'm so entertained, and Rad is like, what about the bad backlighting? I'm like, Rad, get a job. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm
but
looking
also I
at
understand.
my own screen right now, and I'm like, oh look, I got the Wicked aesthetic going on. I'm all desaturated and washed out, and like.
But were you able to enjoy the movie? Like, were you able to come out of Wicked and go like, I had a good time?
Eventually, when I finally like got past my like, what is this? Like, why are are we like dishonoring the technicolor of it all? Eventually, these performances, Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo, did win me over. And then I saw their press tour where it was like they were on Molly the whole time or something, like constantly touching each other. And
Wow.
like,
They're just being
Again,
sweet
I'm so
and
sorry
intimate.
you can't feel feelings, man. I'm
Yeah,
so
he's like,
sorry.
oh, I'm gonna hold space for
Okay,
you, Kathleen.
first of all, we just got the bell several times. We're like, we were keeping this moving. I should also tell people, like, there is no Taylor Swift in the festive bag. There's no Drake Kendrick beef in the festive bag, and that's because like those are topics that we've talked about a whole bunch this year, and that feels like it's worth noting. If you're like, you've gone this many topics without talking about Taylor Swift or Drake and Kendrick, I'm like, yeah, that they're not here. It's not going to come up. Okay, we have our next topic, which is, oh, I lied to you. It is very mindful, very demure. I want to just play a quick clip of this one before we get into the topic. Let's play it.
You see how I do my makeup for work? Very demure, very mindful. I don't look like a clown when I go to work. I don't do too much. I'm very mindful while I'm at work.
So Jules LeBron went viral over the quote, the very demure, very mindful. Niko, do you want to talk about Jules LeBron and very demure, very mindful as a concept, as a thing that went viral? Is it a winner or loser of 2024?
Once again, trans people are contributing to the culture for everybody else to steal from so they can sell stuff on Etsy. And that is very much the case here, wherein, you know, this is a trans person on TikTok and a thing that went viral. And then suddenly it is everywhere. Like the other day I'm on Etsy looking for end of the year gifts, and I'm seeing like very mindful, very demure air fresheners, and I'm just like, is the money going back where it should for this person who is trying to fundraise to pay for their surgeries that they need in order to feel, you know, safe and at home and mindful and demure in their own body? And like it is such a wild disconnect of, here is a thing that a person says that we can take and destroy, like Brat Summer, in the name of capital. And here is the person who created it, who is not sort of seeing the return on investment on this thing that they came up with that everybody loved. And in a time when, like I said, you know, queerness has been attacked publicly earlier, like transness in particular, being trans in public right now is incredibly difficult. And to go viral for that is, I can't even imagine. I mean, I've been a viral thing or whatever as a trans person before, and it sucks. It's terrible. So I was like, the whole time I was thinking of this, and like, what a trip this would be. And just like, but like, it was everywhere I went, people were like, you know, using this statement. And, you know, I think it'll sort of stick with us for a long time to come.
And it's interesting to contrast that to Hak Tua, where like that person then was carried to manage to take off with everyone's crypto money.
You get a podcast out of it. Like you don't get the career out of it probably because you're visibly trans. Like being visibly trans, people aren't coming knocking down your door and saying, hey, we want to lift you up. We're going to build a career out of you. No, we're going to take your thing and we're going to sell it.
Okay.
Like in your name. Yeah.
Yeah, we did not hear the bell on that one, because I think that's an important point to make. I think like the idea that a trans person goes viral for creating a quote that everybody's using, merchandising opportunities come out of it, and then they don't necessarily see those dollars. In fact,
we don't know. Like,
right?
I don't know the financial return on that, right? Like, I don't know how much money they made, but like. Yeah. I can't imagine it's the same as like Rad said. Like it's like the Hawk Tuith thing. Like you get a podcast studio out of it. You get all of these other things out of it that, like, you know, a trans person doing the same thing is just not getting it. And I think it's important for people to think about that.
I just want to try to fit as many as possible in from this festive bag, and we only have like a couple of minutes left here, so I'm grabbing like 2 or 3 at a time. I'm not going to actually do that.
Just jumble the words together.
Okay, we'll just do like a somewhat of a lightning round. Challengers / Zendaya. Kathleen, go in. Winner or loser 2024? Quickly as you can.
Winner, absolutely. You know that it's my agenda on this show and in life to make Hollywood horny again. And Challengers did that, absolutely. Yeah. And it proved that Zendaya can carry a movie. It proved that she is a bona fide movie star. It also gave us Josh O'Connor and Mike Feist,
Bell's
who I
gone.
think they're great.
Bell's gone.
They're also great.
Next one's Carolee Fortune. Kathleen, also to you. Winner or loser 2024?
Oh, wow. I mean, I think romance in general, winners. Yes. A winner all around. I think the romance genre, Canadian people are finally realizing she's a Canadian author, wrote romance novels. She's on her 4th one, I believe. They are
Bell's gone
all
again.
New York Times bestsellers,
Sorry,
and people want romance.
Wow.
They want romance.
Kathleen's like, I'll still get the rest of my sentence in. Niko, Oasis reunion, winner or loser?
I mean, winner/loser, we all want to see what those brothers are going to do on stage, but who can afford the $350 ticket price?
Now that...
Why are we building a whole stadium for them? We already have a stadium. It's downtown. Taylor Swift was there for 6 days.
Okay, the bell was merciless. It left us no time. So look, before we go, I just want each of you to talk about a winner or loser of 2024 that we didn't get a chance to talk about. Rad, over to you.
Well, I'm going to say Denzel Washington, who's been having this great year. I mean, his family released the movie The Piano Lesson, became a whole family session, and with the best of those August Wilson adaptations. And also, he ruled Gladiator 2. I mean, the movie was trash, but he's the one who knew how to put on a show. But even better than Gladiator 2 was seeing his press tour where he's like doing interviews with all these youngins and just dropping wisdom and inspiring the next generation. So Denzel Washington, legendary status.
One of those youngins that he did an interview with is, in fact, Kathleen Newman-Bremang, who is, in fact, a winner to me for talking to Denzel this year. Kathleen, winners and losers of 2024 that we didn't get a chance to talk about.
Thank you for calling me young. I'm going to say that the celebrity lookalike contests were a win. I am also going to be holding a Denzel Washington one in my house, so please come. I just think they were, cringe and corny and unnecessary, but they also were really comforting. They felt like 2010s internet, like Obama era. And I loved seeing like Timothy Chalamet show up to his lookalike contest and Glenn Powell FaceTime in and offer like a cameo in his next movie. Like it was all just very wholesome. I think we should leave them in 2024. We should not take them into 2025, but I'm going to say they were a win.
I appreciate and will take that win. Niko, 30 seconds. The last word to you, pal. What do you got?
For the last few years, I have been demanding we get a TV on the radio reunion. And this year we got our TV on the radio reunion, partially for the anniversary of Desperate Youth, Bloodthirsty Babes, which is their first record. They've been doing a few shows. But the thing they did, which I really liked, is I was on Instagram one night, and in my Instagram stories, there was a post from TV on the radio saying, hey, we're doing a surprise pop-up show. Cash you only at the door, come through. And it's just like, it was such a thing of a different era where shows of that size, like to me, TV and the radio, one of the greatest bands to ever do it, one of the highlights of the indie sleaze era, the quote unquote indie sleaze era. But for them to just be like, hey, we're doing a pop-up, it's cash at the door, come through. I mean, it's such a welcome return to a better time for music in general, and just TV on the radio rules. Let's hope we see more of them in 2025. That's it.
I'm delighted by this. I'm delighted by your choices. I'm delighted by your presence. Thank you, all of you, for being here. Thank you for your time. Sorry about the bell. You guys are the best. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks, Elamin.
Yes, of course. Kathleen Newman-Bremang, Niko Stratis, and Rad Simonpillai. By the way, Kathleen Newman-Bremang is Deputy Director at Refinery 29 Unbothered. She was in Newfoundland. Niko Stratis is a freelance culture critic and an author. Rad Simonpillai is a freelance film critic whose work shows up at the Globe and Mail, CTV, and right here on Commotion. And look, that is it for Commotion for today. Commotion was produced this week by Stuart Berman, Ty Callender, Amelia Ekbal, and Jean Kim, and Jess Lowe. Caitlin King is our intern. Our digital producers this week have been Carla Antonio, Shuli Grossman-Gray, Sabina Wex, and Julia Whalen. Our directors this week are Danielle Grogan and Jane Van Couverden. Our engineer is Sam Hashmi. Our senior producer is John Perry. Beza Seifa is our executive producer. I'm Elamin Abdelmahmoud. The show is back on Monday.